everyone! Today is a long time coming because I am finally going to be talking about The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. You know those books that you hear about, or those books that are unread on your shelf that just kind of call to you and you just feel like you're about to embark on this book love journey, and I don't know, like this book, you've been waiting your whole life for this book. That's how I felt when picking up this book. I am not at all surprised that I loved The Night Circus. It enchanted me the whole way through. It was intriguing and dark and atmospheric. It's just so lovely. But let's just back up a little bit and try to talk about the plot because it's not super discernible and it's kind of hard to talk about this book without giving away spoilers. This is an adult book that's, I don't know, magical realism slash fantasy. It's about a circus that's only open at night. This night circus travels all over the world and it just kind of pops up in all of these random cities and towns. So the people who go to the circus just wake up one day and they see these black and white striped tents outside of their windows. It just shows up completely unannounced. And that premise alone totally gripped me because the people who go to the circus are the curious ones. They're the ones who want to discover something new, something different. And as soon as they do, it's like they enter this whole other world because the circus is actually a magical circus. So yeah, these people kind of stumble into a different world, but it's not just one world. Rather than one giant tent with different acts that occur at different times, there are several different tents. So it's kind of like you stumble into all these different worlds, and each one is just over the top incredible, stunningly realistic, beautiful, enchanting. There might be one tent that's just the illusionist and another tent that's the ice garden. And the ice garden was one of my favorite tents. It's just so beautiful and over the top. Every single one is like a whole separate world that is super vivid. It smells and tastes and looks real. On top of that, the circus is not just a circus. It's a venue of sorts for this competition or this game between these two magicians who are kind of thrown into the competition without any guidelines. They don't know the rules, but they're kind of bound to each other. All they know is that they have to be a part of it and they have to display their magical abilities and perform to the best of their abilities to see who is the better magician. And it's kind of like their whole life's work amounts to their performance or their magic within the circus. Okay, so now that we've talked about the plot just a little bit, I want to talk about my personal experience reading this book. This book is slow. This book is slow. I think that really surprised me because there's so much hype surrounding this book, but it really, really is slow. It's a character-driven novel, but even then, the characters, you're not super attached to the characters, so I can totally understand why this book might not be for everyone. It's written in omniscient point of view, so the reader is really distanced from all of the characters, even the main characters, so it kind of feels like you're looking at the circus as a whole. The best way I can describe this, and I kind of mentioned this a little bit in my vlog, but it's kind of like a stereogram. Do you remember stereograms when you were a little kid? Sometimes they had them in children's books, or I don't know, I think of like a doctor's office like hanging on the wall or something. They're kind of like these big images with small patterns, and you kind of have to relax your eyes to look through it to see the larger image. It's sort of trippy and there's like some trickery, and you kind of have to relax your eyes or squint or something to see what the image is really about. It's this idea that all these little patterns make up something else entirely that you don't see at first. That is exactly how The Night Circus is, for me anyway. For me, hands down, the best part of the book was Erin Morgenstern's writing. It was just, oh my gosh, alluring and whimsical and just elegant. Seriously, this book is like romantic and sexy, and not necessarily because of the romance in this book, which in my opinion kind of took a backseat to the other parts of the book, the main plot. Yeah, I don't know how else to say it except that the writing just kind of woos you like from the beginning. Like I said, you don't really connect with the characters, or you're not really in their heads, but you're still enchanted by them and you're still turning pages, which in my mind is a huge testament to the writing and her unique storytelling. The plot is also so unique. It's almost difficult to kind of grasp onto because it's so unlike other things you might know of or other things that I've read. It's so different, but I just loved everything about it. Everything about it. There are parts a few parts that are written in second person, so it feels like you're at the circus and you're experiencing the circus alongside all of these other characters. So even though you don't feel necessarily attached in some ways, it's still intimate in other ways. The eclectic mix of characters are just so unique and intriguing. The twins, Widget and Poppet, are some of my favorite characters. Celia is such a badass, but also really tender-hearted and flawed. Her father and Alexander are absolutely chilling, like just chilling and mysterious. And Frederick the clockmaker was one of my favorite characters. He wasn't originally part of the circus, but he made the clock in the circus. And he just sort of fell in love with the circus and would travel to go to wherever the circus was. And he started writing these almost love letters to kind of document his experiences so that he could keep his memory of the circus alive. And they ended up being published in local newspapers. And he kind of started this like unexpected groupie band of people who they call themselves the Reveres. I'm probably butchering that, but it means the Dreamers. And yeah, I fell in love with the lovers of the circus. I was also totally enamored with the contortionist. Her name's Suzuko, I think that's how you say it. She was so intriguing to me and super complex. And yeah, I wanted to know more about her story whenever I got to a part with her in it. But anyway, I can't give away too much about these characters because, again, I don't want to give away anything that's spoilery. But this book is so good. This book is all about imagination and what we allow ourselves to see, or maybe the ways we limit magic because we're afraid of what it means in our daily lives. It's about illusions and trickery and family, the families we're born into and the families we create. It's about sacrifices that we make for family and love. And the only reason I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars instead of a 5 out of 5 stars was because I felt like at times the romance felt like it just wasn't quite up to the level of sophistication as the rest of the book. It just didn't blow me away like everything else in this story, but like I said, I absolutely loved this book. I would definitely recommend this book to anyone who loves magic in realistic settings, or maybe if you're into that 19th century England plus magic kind of vibe. I don't know. Let me know down below if you read The Night Circus, if you loved it, if you didn't quite feel like it lived up to the hype. I'd love to know your thoughts, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.